All right, everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil. And in this video, guys, I want to talk about 3 frequently asked questions I've been seeing a lot in the channel. And I'm thinking of making this like a regularly occurring video, just some FAQs that I see in the comment section that don't really deserve a full video on their content, right? But they are still really good questions. So let's get into this, guys. Before we do that, you know the drill. We must first pay homage to our king, Wampa. If you guys want to see Wampa hit Relegate live on stream, and if you guys are newer to the channel, I don't always have a ton of time to live stream just with the way that my personal life is, being a father and everything, but I will take the time to make sure that we can relegate Wampa live on stream if we get this channel to 5,000 subscribers, because he is our king, guys. So again, smash that subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment. Let's get in here. So the first topic I want to cover is related to hard nodes, and it's should you refresh them? And this is a really great topic. So you guys know right now, I am starting to, farm shards for Jabba, right? And Bush Leia is one of those characters where I could refresh her node for 25 crystals, right? I've done my 5 attempts. I could do it again for 25 crystals. Now, from a pure economic standpoint, it's very wise to refresh those, because if I get, and I'm just going to show you right now, if I do her refresh and I was going to buy her shards via the weekly shipments here, it's 80 crystals per shard, right? 10 shards, 800 crystals, right? 80 crystals per shard. So I could do 3 of those refreshes over 3 days, right? For 75 crystals total. If I get 1 shard, I've saved 5 crystals compared to what I would do if I bought it via weekly shipments, right? If the character is accelerated, like Darth Talon is here, right? Or Fennec, right? It's 40 shards per, character. But remember, if I get 2 shard drops for that character, I've still saved myself, over 3 days, I still saved myself the crystals I would have spent, because, those crystals, getting 2 of them would cost me 80, and I got 2 of them for spending 75. So again, guys, just make sure you're doing that math in your head, that economically it makes more sense to refresh hard nodes than buying them via shipments. However, the other side of this equation you need to think about is, is rushing that character going to get you not only that character faster, because it's going to get you that character faster, but going to finish your end goal faster? Here'd be a really good example. Here's my Jabba the Hutt, right? I switched my journey guide up just to show you this. So if I start rushing Bush Leia, right, refreshing her node, I'm going to get her faster. But I still need the gear. I still would need to get shards for Chrysanthemum, Oracing, Skiff Guard Lando here. I need to gear everybody, right? So sure, I could refresh her node, but that's not helping me in my current farm, because I still need to get all this gear. So instead, it's smarter to save those 25 crystals and maybe invest that energy into something different, which I'm doing with Inquisitors, where I'm going to start slow farming the Inquisitors, and as I finish Bush Leia, as I finish Skiff Guard Lando, move into the other Inquisitors that need, that are farmable via hard nodes. And guys, this is just such a great example, I think, for why I only would refresh is, let's say that, like my armor, right? If I had everything I need for her right now, and I'm like, yes, she's like the next thing, she's keeping me from having a really good Mandalorian team, I'd be refreshing her node because I have the gear for her. I've got the team for her, right? She's going to help me today. That's the difference between somebody like her and somebody like these characters, right? Is that I still need to do the rest of the Inquisitors. I still need to get all the gear for Jabba's Rex. So refreshing doesn't make sense, because I'm just spending 25 crystals that I could be using elsewhere, right? And think of it that over 100 days, that's 2,500 crystals. If you refresh just 1 node a day, right? 2,500 crystals. That's, every other day, that's another energy refresh of regular, fleet, or even mod energy. So just keep that in mind, guys. It does add up over time. So that's, hard nodes. The next topic I wanted to cover is related to, like, everybody loves to ask, hey, Phil, should I, stop farming, Jabba and go for Executor based on your, guide? And the answer to that is dependent upon how committed you are to that farm, right? And, as myself as the example here, right, I can go for Jabba, right? The only stuff I have really invested gear-wise is, characters that I've had from previous farms, right? From the Jedi Master Luke farm and Executor, right? Like, I don't have gear on any of these other characters. And let's say I wanted to switch to Inquisitors, right? So I'm going to go over and switch to Inquisitors. So I'm going to go here, right, begin the journey, and we're going to come down here. I don't know if you guys can hear my cats having WWE right now. But yeah, so here's my journey guide for Grand Inquisitor, right? Here's the thing. I could go and do this, right? That's perfectly fine. I could go and get Grand Inquisitor. I can pivot from Jabba because I haven't invested any real gear inside of these characters. But if I had maybe gotten 3 Relic Inquisitors and then Jabba comes out, the time that I'm going to get Grand Inquisitor is so much smaller at that point than the time that I would stop, go get Jabba, and then go back and get Grand Inquisitor. Like, Grand Inquisitor is going to help me today, right? Like getting Grand Inquisitor sooner is going to help my roster more than delaying it, right? So it's very roster dependent. Like for myself, I could do one or the other, right? But, if you've already committed to those significant resources, and significant resources is going to vary dependent on the person, right? So you just need to use that as personal judgment. And that's kind of why it doesn't really deserve a full video, in my opinion, is that it's so roster dependent. So what you have to ask yourself is, have you committed significant resources to that farm? And do you feel that, is getting your current goal sooner going to help you get to the next one faster? And if the answer is yes, then just keep going. If it's not going to make any difference between like getting this or getting this, then make the one that you want to make, guys. And that's really important. Right? Just keep that in mind. Like, this game is about what you want to do. You can listen to me give you advice all day long, but if it's not what you want to do, then don't do it, right? Like that's all your prerogative. The last topic to cover here is Guild Event Currency 2. And that I always say, you only want to spend this on your get 2 ships, right? You only want to spend it on Negotiator and Malevolence and then buy gear. And that you shouldn't buy Rebel Officer Leia Organa or Imperial Probe Droid with this currency. I guess, and I'll say this, right? Maybe I've made a mistake. Maybe I'm just a little bit out of touch with like some of those early guilds, but like I would think that you could get a Rebel Officer Leia Organa super quickly because of, Hoth rewards and things. But I think that a lot of players don't farm Captain Han, right? A lot of guilds don't take them seriously, or Colonel Stark, right? So getting these characters, you probably end up getting the only way is through these, Guild Event Currency 2. So if you have to do that, then the answer is absolutely you should, because she's gonna block you from 2 different Galactic Legends and Jedi Knight Luke, right? Because Jedi Knight Luke is needed for both Jabba and JML, right? He's needed for 2 GLs, but that Jedi Knight Luke is also a great character along the way. So not having Rolo is going to keep you from having 3 fantastic characters in your roster. So yes, at that point it is worth it, but if you are, listen to what I say when I say this. I'm trying to be, not be like a, I don't know, high and mighty when I say this, but if you're a low-level guild leader, guild officer, and your guild is thinking, oh, we should do Lightside Geo or, Rise of the Empire, take a step back and ask yourself, are you really helping your guild by doing that? Because if you're like a 1 million GP account, right? If you're like a million GP, like Geonosis rewards are not going to help you like Hoth rewards will. The rewards are better for someone who's maybe 2 or 3 million GP. But at 1 million, you need those rewards from Hoth to build up to the point that the rewards from Geonosis actually help you, right? The developers have done a really good job with scaling the rewards to push you into that next level. And I think that when you skip ahead, the top of your roster will get really good. You'll get a full Relic squad. But then you're going to just drop off significantly. And in the past for GAC, that was awesome. But now, that's not the case anymore, because you need to build those teams to get to 4 million GP, but also because you're going to start facing people with more roster depth, right? In the old GAC bracket, you only fought people in your galactic power. So as long as you had this really focused roster, you had like one good squad, right? You could skip right away to, okay, I'm going to go and do Geonosis TB instead of, Rise of the Empire, right? But now, like, because you're not, locked in a bracket based on your galactic power, right? You need to have that full roster at your capacity, right? You want to have that, real, like, you don't want to have just like one really good team and then nothing. You need to have a really good broad roster to compete in GAC. And that's why I think it's, coming back to this whole Rolo situation, right? That don't just skip ahead thinking that those rewards are better. They're better to people who are in a different part of the game than yourself. So I just want to put this out here, guys. I think that might be a little bit of a hot take, but I think it's just advice that, comes from someone who's played this game enough, who understands that getting some of those rewards isn't helpful if you don't have the capacity to fully use them. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are down below. Those are 3 frequently asked questions that I've been getting a lot. Like and subscribe for more content like this, guys. I love all of you. May the force be with you, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.